Hello, gamers. Welcome back to the LOFT character classes playlist. LOFT, Large Online Fantasy Tabletop, an MMO where your table is just part of many, many tables that go back in continuity all the way back to 1987, and where your decisions can affect the entire world. So, today we're talking about the Mage. And you might say, wait a minute, John, didn't you already do the magic user? Isn't the magic user like earlier in this playlist? Well, yes, but the mage is different. So the magic user is an old school essentials basic class. The mage is in Carcass Crawler number 1. It is the last Carcass Crawler number 1 class that we haven't done yet in this series. So tomorrow we start Carcass Crawler number 2. Now, what's the difference between the mage and the magic user? The magic user is the standard type of wizard that we're used to in our favorite game. The mage is more like kind of like a scribe mage or a sage mage. The mage doesn't actually cast spells in the traditional way. Now, the mage can use scrolls out the yin-yang, and the mage scribes scrolls better than any other type of caster. A few videos ago, when we started Carcass Crawler number 1, we talked about the Acolyte. And the Acolyte was an experiment by Gavin Norman from Old School Essentials to make a cleric-type class based on like thief percentile mechanics instead of spells. And so the mage is that for the magic user. They're a magic user type of class that uses thief percentages rather than spells. So what are some of the differences in them? Of course, the link for Carcass Crawler number 1 is in the doodly-doo down below. But for example, mages have 6-sided hit dice instead of 4-sided hit dice, so they're not exactly as squishy. Mages also have the ability that when they wield a staff, their staff can harm creatures that are normally immune to mundane, non-magical attacks. So that's nice. Mages also have, mage armor as an ability. They don't need to cast a spell for it. They just do mage armor. So mages also have they have an ability to read magic. It's based on percentile, goes up with level. They've got detect magic based on percentile, goes up with level. They've got some other, really cool abilities. Some of the ones that you might want to use in a pinch. There's cause fear. It's percentile based on level. Of course, undead are immune to fear, but there's lots of things in, living things that can feel fear that you could use that on. So mages are, my younger daughter actually plays one. She plays an elven mage. That's her main character. And it's kind of a struggle in the beginning, but so is playing the regular magic user, old school also. And once the mage starts to develop a collection of scrolls, they become a lot more versatile. And in terms of crafting, I know we haven't done a whole lot of videos yet about our crafting rules for LOFT, but the mage has a special ability in LOFT to craft scrolls easier, faster, and better than other character classes. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. Like, as I look at this class here in Carcass Crawler number 1, and I think about us doing it in the LOFT project, and I think about the crafting that we want to do, because we're making our favorite game into an MMO, and for MMOs, people want crafting, and crafting's cool. I mean, I want to have crafting for y'all too. And Ron Watson, the second LOFT DM that officially starts here in just a couple weeks on the 24th of June, he is primarily responsible for a lot of the crafting system. But sage mages or scribe mages, or the Carcass Crawler number 1 mages, they're going to need to be able to scribe scrolls a little cheaper, a little faster, a little easier than regular crafting in order to make that work. But it's in Carcass Crawler number 1. It's just a kind of a different spin on a mage. Here on YouTube, like and subscribe if you're interested in playing. We've got links down in the doodly-doo below where you can join one of our tables. We've got new tables starting Friday nights here in America. We're based in Central Time Zone in the mighty city of St. Louis. We have a table that's going to start exploring the hollow world. Sundays, we have new table on Sunday afternoons. Be starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. There are some people that want to explore Greyhawk from first level, starting with the village of Hamlet. And, it's Wednesday as I record this. And there's a group, the Ivory Scimitars, and they have open spaces at their table as well. There's a couple of players that had, it's June now, so there's a couple of players that had summertime shakeups in their schedules, and they've got room at the table. They'd love to have you. So if you want to try it out, it's free for 7 days. If you're a Loft subscriber, there's links to that down in the doodly-doo below also. But check it out. Check out the Mage, and I will see you around the gaming table.